Okay, so today we are diving into a book that's been, well, pretty much a cultural phenomenon since about 2013. Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass.
Oh yeah, that one's hard to miss. It's been on bestseller lists forever, it feels like.
Exactly. And if you've been curious why, you probably know it's not because it reads like some, dry academic text.
Definitely not. It's famous for being the total opposite,
Yeah.
right? Brash,
Let's
funny.
see. Literary, yeah. And really accessible.
Mm.
It's kind of like that friend who just shakes you and says, hey, stop complaining and do something.
Yeah, well, a literary kick in the pants.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission here for this deep dive is basically to filter out all the noise and just pull out the core, the really actionable bits from You Are a Badass, how to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life.
Hmm.
We want to make sure you can grasp its appeal, get the methods, but also, importantly, understand its limitations and do it quickly.
Well, the underlying philosophy, it's actually pretty classic self-help stuff, but she just
Yeah.
delivers it with, well, maximum attitude.
Right.
The premise is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, your beliefs, they are actively creating the reality you're living in right now. So her whole thing is you've got to identify and, as she puts it, get rid of the BS that holds you back.
The BS, yeah.
Then you'll learn to actually love yourself.
Yeah.
And crucially, start taking consistent action, sometimes courageous action.
That sets things up perfectly. That's the internal foundation, isn't it? This mantra she repeats constantly, your thoughts create your life.
Over and over.
And if you let that negative loop play, the I'm not good enough, I can't do this, you know the drill. If
Yeah.
that runs on autopilot.
You're stuck. You're basically programming yourself to stay exactly where you are.
So the work then is all about reframing that inner voice, that monologue, so it actually supports who you want to become.
And you hit it earlier, the BS beliefs.
Yeah.
We all have these narratives running.
Where do they come from?
Well, Sincero says they're often absorbed kind of unconsciously, right? From childhood, society, maybe just fear of failing.
Yeah.
These are the things that make us play small.
Without even realizing we're doing it.
Exactly. We're holding our own leash.
Yeah.
So identifying them isn't just like a nice idea. She says it's the absolute first step. You have to do it.
And she doesn't just leave you hanging there. She gives you a tool, right?
Yeah.
The identify the BS list exercise.
Sounds intense, but she suggests you can tackle it in like 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, so what do? You physically write down the strongest negative beliefs, the stuff you always tell yourself.
Yeah, the deepest fears about your abilities, your worth, whatever they are. Get them on paper.
And then?
And this is where the real work starts. Because the second part is, next to each negative belief, you write a short, powerful counterstatement.
Okay, like an affirmation?
Sort of, but it needs to feel true, or at least possible. So if your belief is, I don't deserve success, I'm too disorganized, the counter might be, I have unique strengths people value, and I'm learning to organize better every day. Something like that.
Gotcha, it's specific.
And the key instruction, what's fascinating here, is why she tells you to repeat these counterlines daily.
Why? Consistency.
Exactly. It's
Wow.
not just positive thinking fluff. She's tapping into, well, it's basically neuroplasticity. By making you repeat these counters every single day, even if you don't fully buy them at first, you're actively building new pathways in your brain.
Yeah.
You're sort of wearing down those old negative grooves and digging new supportive ones.
So the repetition is what makes the internal identity shift actually stick.
Right. Small changes compounding over time. It's about that internal shift first.
Okay, so we've got the internal shift. Reprogram the brain, stop the self-sabotage. But Sincero isn't about just thinking nice thoughts, right? She demands action. What's the next step?
Yeah, you can't just sit on the couch manifesting. Now we shift gears completely. From inner thoughts to outer behavior. If section 1 was the mental prep,
Section 2 is the actual doing.
pretty much. The next big ideas are linked. Act as if you are already the person you want to be. And then take big, consistent action. Yeah, the idea is to make your actions rewrite your identity. Instead of waiting for your feelings to change first. Force the change through behavior.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me because that act as if experiment is probably one of the most talked about bits of the book. It feels like a shortcut.
It can be really powerful.
So you pick one small thing that the future badass version of you would do.
Right, the confident you, the successful you, the one who doesn't procrastinate.
And you just do it every day for a week.
Yeah.
And you notice how it feels.
Exactly. You track the internal shifts.
Can you give an example? What does that look like?
Okay, say you're a writer terrified of rejection. The act as if isn't just writing more. It's maybe submitting one piece of writing, even just a blog post comment or a tiny pitch somewhere, anywhere, every single day for that week.
Wow. Okay. So it's about the showing up part.
Totally. Or if you want to be seen as a leader at work, don't wait to be asked. Act as if means maybe being the first person to offer an opinion in the team meeting. You force the confidence by performing the action.
And you just note what happens inside, whether it feels weird or powerful.
And Sincero really pushes applying this action focus to money too. That's core idea 5. Money mindset matters.
The money stuff. Always a big one.
Huge. She argues a lot of us have this deep-seated scarcity mindset. You know, the belief that money's hard to get, there isn't enough, maybe being wealthy is even kind of bad.
Yeah, I recognize that script.
And that shows up as financial blocks,
Yeah.
self-sabotage. So she pushes readers towards an abundance mindset,
Which means,
basically believing there's enough opportunity and money out there for everyone, including you, and crucially, that you deserve to receive it. That's a massive mental jump for a lot of people.
okay, but how do you do that? Saying think abundantly is nice, but like you said,
Right.
it doesn't pay the bills.
True. So she makes it practical with something called the money ceremony. It's a specific ritual.
Okay. Sounds ceremonial.
It is. First, list your current money beliefs, all of them. Then cross out the limiting ones, the scarcity ones. Second, write 5 I deserve money affirmations, really personal ones, like I deserve an income that reflects my true value.
Right. But then there's action.
Yes, that's the critical last step. You journal one tiny income-generating action you commit to taking that week.
That week. Not someday.
This week. So maybe it's finally asking for that raise discussion, or maybe it's listing something old on eBay, or just researching freelance rates. One small, concrete thing.
That's the difference right there. It connects the mindset to actual doing.
Exactly.
And then to round things out, she mixes in some, let's call them spiritual tools alongside the practical stuff.
Yeah, she's not shy about it. We're like affirmations, visualizations, making gratitude lists a daily thing.
Right.
Standard stuff in this space, but she integrates it fully.
And the surrender idea.
Right, the concept of surrender to a higher force, which in her context seems to mean letting go of your desperate need to control the specific outcome.
Okay. So focus on the effort.
Focus only on putting in the consistent, high-quality action.
Hmm.
Work your butt off, basically, apply yourself fully, and then release the attachment to exactly how it has to turn out.
Hmm.
Trust that the universe or the market or just your consistent effort will yield something good.
It gives the book this blend, doesn't it? Very practical, very demanding, but also with this slightly spiritual, holistic overlay.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So let's talk about reading it. The structure itself. Short chapters, really punchy.
Designed for quick hits. Pick it up, read a chapter, do an exercise.
Which is why people love it, I think. It's so readable, feels immediately practical. It's like that blunt friend we mentioned, the one who sees your potential and just won't let you whine anymore.
And this is important for you, the learner listening.
Yeah.
To give you that balanced view we promised, we have to touch on the criticisms, the points of friction.
Right. Because no book works for everyone.
And this raises a key question. When does all this motivation maybe tip over into being?
Wow.
A bit too simplistic.
Okay, what's the main critique?
The biggest one, the one that sparks the most debate, is its intense focus only on personal responsibility. The whole argument rests on the individual's mental state being the key to everything.
And the problem with that is?
It crucially doesn't address structural problems, things like poverty, systemic racism or sexism, institutional barriers. Those external realities aren't really in the picture. The solution is always framed as internal individual change.
But wait, isn't that the point of self-help? If you focus too much on external stuff you can't control right now, doesn't that take away the personal power she's trying to give you?
That is exactly the tension. And Sincero's implicit answer seems to be, you fix your internal world first. Her book is aimed at people who are stuck in their own heads, paralyzed by fear or self-doubt.
Right. For them, changing their mindset is the most powerful first step they can take.
Precisely. The critique isn't that the internal work isn't valuable. It's that if this is your only guide to success, you might completely miss the very real external factors that also shape outcomes. It's about balance.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What else? Any other criticisms?
The style, pure and simple. That brash, cocky, sometimes kind of shouty tone.
The very thing that draws some people in.
It can totally alienate others. If you prefer nuance, quiet reflection, or academic rigor, this might feel abrasive. High energy, maybe exhausting if you're feeling vulnerable.
And we should probably mention the more woo-woo elements again, right? The
Yeah.
law of attraction language, the surrender bit.
Yeah, those parts can feel a bit, let's say, fuzzy if you're a hardcore skeptic who wants hard data for every single claim.
Okay, so summing that up, who is this book really for?
It seems ideal for people genuinely stuck in fear or procrastination who need that big, energetic kickstart. Great for entrepreneurs, artists, people starting out who need confidence boosters and quick action templates. It definitely provides momentum.
Good.
With stress, it's probably not the best choice as your only resource, especially if you need deep analysis of societal issues or if you're dealing with significant trauma that requires proper therapy.
So use it as fuel, maybe alongside other things.
Exactly. Use it for motivation, maybe alongside therapy, or paired with practical skill-building books, like ones focused on forming sustainable habits.
Okay, let's bring this all together then. Synthesize the action plan. The core process Sincero pushes seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, boil it down. It's 1, identify your limiting BS. Dig it out.
2, replace those thoughts. Hammer in new ones with those consistent daily affirmations or counterstatements.
3, practice act as if. Force the behavioral change.
And 4, commit to taking real-world action, daily, sometimes bold action towards your goals.
That's the essence of it.
Which leads nicely to a final practical tip for making it stick.
Structure. Sincero gives you the fire, the motivation, the go, but she doesn't really map out the detailed systems for keeping it going long term.
Right. It's easy to get hyped up for a week and then crash.
So we'd recommend pairing this book's energy with maybe a systems or habits book. Something like Atomic Habits, perhaps. Something that helps you build the routines and tracking to make those bold actions sustainable, not just a flash in the pan.
Good point. Combine the why and the what from Sincero with the how from a habit system.
Makes sense.
So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you listening right now? Sincero's whole powerful message is about maximizing your personal responsibility, owning your thoughts, owning your actions to overcome those internal barriers and, live that awesome life.
Right. It's intensely focused on the individual's power. But, and here's our final thought to leave you with. What if your goal isn't only personal change? What if you also want to tackle some of those external systemic issues we mentioned?
Applying that badass energy outwards.
Exactly. So if the book intentionally centers individual power and kind of sidesteps structural problems, how would you rewrite Sincero's core ideas? How could you adapt them to include both that vital internal mindset shift and concrete external action aimed at those bigger societal barriers?
That's something to think about. How do you be a badass for yourself and for the world around you using her framework?
That's the question we'll leave you with.